Hello. We're just waiting on a few more people. I think someone else is trying to get in. Wait a few minutes. Just, I think I saw Kurt before. I'm gonna disable the waiting room so everyone can come in when they please. Hopefully. Hi guys, it worked. I think there's more people joining. I had Vanessa too, but I don't know where she went. Ooh, some new faces, or voices, more like. We'll just wait a few more minutes just for, hopefully Vanessa can get on. Can message her maybe. Was everyone able to use the link okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, thank you. Thank you, Alondra. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, shoot me a message.
Yeah,
Hi.
Hi.
It's nice to see a face. No one usually turns their cameras on. Like I'm talking to someone now. Let's see. Oh, Vanessa is typing. I believe it will be recorded. Oh, hi, Vanessa. She can't hear me yet. She's not connected to audio. Let's see. She seems like she's having some trouble with it.
¿Por qué no? Por ahí no puedes entrar.
Can you hear us, Vanessa? Are you all good now? You can just say it in the chat.
Yeah,
okay,
sorry,
perfect.
I had audio issues. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so I think we'll start with this, with this many people, just because we have a lot to cover tonight. So for those of you who haven't been on one of these office hours or Zoom calls at all, I'm Lily. I'm obviously the music theory TA, but I'm so glad you guys could come tonight. This one is going to be an interesting one. So let me share my screen and we'll get started. I don't need to share my audio. So, can everyone see my screen? Perfect, thank you. So, let's get started. We'll just go over the agenda super quick. So the overview for today is that we're just gonna, I don't know how familiar or what levels you guys are on with ear training, or just like rhythmic dictation specifically. If you guys even know what those are, if you don't, it's totally fine. Like, you're totally okay. But yeah, so we're just gonna be going over that, starting with some ear training. I'll give you guys some definitions, and we'll go over some resources as well for you guys to use on your own. I know someone had asked me earlier this week in the channel for some resources, so oops. Hopefully they will show up at some point. And then we'll just do a Q&A if you have any questions from anything you're doing this past week or anything that we've gone over in the slides tonight. So, also Fiveable is recording this, so this is going to be a great basis to your training in rhythmic dictation that you can always look back on and review. So let's get started. So to define rhythmic dictation, so that's where we want to start our ear training. It's the simplest form of ear training. It's the practice of writing down a rhythm as it is heard by ear. So has anyone done rhythmic dictation at all, whether they've done it in past years, if you guys are studying at a school, AP Music Theory? Anyone? If not, it's okay. I also don't have the chat up, but if someone puts something in the chat, just like wave at me or something. Like, okay, so rhythmic dictation, what I can say our biggest tips to help are to tap your foot to the given tempo. So I'm going to play an excerpt, many excerpts in a few minutes. And what I want you guys to do is, whoops. Oh, I do see the chat. What I want you guys to do, if I could not go through the slides, that'd be good, is to tap your foot to the given tempo. So the given tempo will give you one measure of it right before the notes start to play. And mark, the fastest way to do this is to mark a line whenever you hear a note being played, a beat. That'll be like your rough draft of the whole rhythmic dictation. Does everyone have a piece of paper or like staff paper? Because that will be helpful. Good, okay. So don't try to memorize it. I will be playing each excerpt various amounts of times. So if there's 4 measures to the excerpt, which most of them are, I'll play it 5 times. So you don't need to rush and try and memorize the whole thing and write it down at once. Just kind of lightly mark with a line where you think the notes are gonna be, the rhythm, but you can focus on one measure per time. So that's kind of helpful. And then that 5th time around, it'll let you listen to the whole thing, see if you are correct. And also if you want to just like, if I'm playing it too much, if you guys think you're all done, someone unmute and let me know. 5 times can be too much, but I think since this is your guys' first time around, you'll want that time. So what to listen for while you're listening for to the rhythmic dictation. So you're given the tempo and the time signature. The tempo, like I said, will be given before the excerpt. The time signature, I will tell you, and you'll write that down on your staff paper. Those are the most important things you can use to help you. So if you know that something's in 4/4, obviously you know there's only 4 beats in the measure. You have to fit everything accordingly into those measures. Like I said, don't panic and try to listen to everything at once. Try to go measure by measure. And I'll play this a bunch of times. So before we start, is everyone comfortable with 6/8 time signature? There's one of those. So if you aren't comfortable with that, you can always not do it, sit that one out, and come back to it at a later date. I'll be showing you the correct answer once we finish so you can correct your own work. Obviously, I'm not going to make you like hold it up or anything. So yeah, I believe that my next slide is where this is a rhythm guide. So I found this online. I just thought this was kind of helpful. I'll share this with you guys afterwards. Kind of just fun little things to help you remember and say it out loud, but you guys are in AP Music Theory. I don't really think you need this. So let's get out staff paper and just get ready to listen. I am starting these off at a slow tempo. just because I don't want to overwhelm you guys. But rhythmic dictation, you're not focusing on the notes at all. That's not important. You're focusing on the rhythm. So all of these that I did, I put them just using one note. So it's just F playing the entire time. You're focusing on the rhythm. So let me see. Is everyone ready with their pencils? Cool. Okay. So these are playing off my phone. I hope you can hear them. If you can't, let me know. Sorry, I just saw your chat, Vanessa. You're learning time signatures now. You can type it if you want, or even to just privately me if you want. I would just say still try it. I think it's very very good to try these out. 4/4, it's just four beats in a measure. So I don't think you'll have too much of a problem with that. And you'll see the first one might be rough, but you'll see what I mean when I get started showing you the answers. Okay, so this is the first one. Ready? That was okay. Yeah, I can try and hold it. I have my AirPods in, so I'll hold it closer to my ear. I don't think your class is behind. I'm just wondering if you are like a musician to use seen it in the past, just in general. Sorry, did you have something to say, Kurt? I didn't.
Yeah, I think you have to turn your original audio on because I think Zoom is thinking that's like background noise and reducing your phone's audio.
Oh, okay, cool. That was my meme for later. Sorry, it got spoiled. How about should I do that? Let's see,
Uh,
audio.
yeah, on your audio settings.
You have to go to the advanced settings for audio.
Cool. Can you guys see what I'm doing?
Nope.
Okay. Suppress persistent background noise. I want to disable that. Okay, cool. And then suppress intermittent background noise. I want to disable that too. Hopefully this works. Sorry guys, I'm
What, Diana?
technical difficulties.
I just about my classes like late. Do you think it's a little like are we behind on the AP curriculum? Because we just started learning compound meter and like learning to like hear it through music. Is that late?
No, not at all. I mean, when you first said time signatures, if you were just learning time signatures, I would be concerned. But compound time signatures is a whole different thing. That's like kind of advanced learning of time signatures. So I don't think you're behind. And are you doing it through your school, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure your music theory teacher knows the best speed for you guys to go at. And if you're worried that you're going too slow, I can share with you that outline I had for leading up to the test. But I don't think you're behind at all. So good. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. We won't count that as one of your times. Please let me know if it is bad again. So let me turn the volume all the way up. Okay. Cool. Are we ready for the second time?
How many measures is this again?
4.
Okay.
4 measures and 4/4. This one is a little tricky. I kind of went hard on you guys, but I think you can do it. I feel like you guys are above everyone else because you signed up for Fiveable and you signed up for the help. So I think you're willing to take on the challenge. So I'm gonna start the second time if that's okay. Okay, cool. Was the audio better that time? Cool. And remember, we're doing, you know, quarter notes, half notes, whole notes. There's no dotted rhythm in this one. Yeah, just remember, and you also have eighth notes. And eventually we'll get to 16ths. Okay. So 3 more times. And if you don't get it right, you're absolutely fine, okay? This is, what are we, 15 minutes in? It's totally okay. Okay. Is anyone feeling extremely overwhelmed? It's like, I must just made a really bad analogy saying it's like sight reading with your ears, but doesn't make sense. So, okay, 4th time around. If you want me to go slower to give you more time to write in between, let me know in the chat. Other than that, I'm gonna do it again. Are we ready for the final time for this one? One more time, and then we're going to get progressively harder, but we'll go over this one first. Okay. Okay, I'll let you guys have your last few moments before I put this one up on the screen. Exit that. And I use this really great website, which I've given you guys in the resources before, called flat.io, and it's like a music, like you can put in like a different score or just any notes that you want to hear them play. That's what I use to make this one, because I do not have a piano in my dorm, which is unfortunate. I wish I did. Was everyone ready for the big reveal? Okay. So obviously just focus on the top line, see where you made your mistakes. And mistakes are totally fine because I get it that all the notes can be jumbled. Can you guys see that? Okay? Okay. Yeah, so whenever you guys are ready, that's good, Sabrina. That's so good. I mean, like, for your first time, if you're even remotely correct, like, that's a big, big deal. Because you have to realize that this is something that everyone practices for the entire year leading up to the test, you know? I was doing these online by myself. Yeah, do you have a question?
Yeah, how do you know if it's like a rest or it's just a whole note like being held out? Like, how do you know the difference?
That's a good question. So that's hard. I'm so sorry. It's hard on here to I didn't even think about that with flat the IO.
I thought the same thing. Like the second note sounded like a half note to me, so that's what I
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Let me try. There's no like sustain on here, which I wish there was. Next time we do this, I will record myself at a piano, so it'll make it a bit easier. But for now, just be like leaning on yourself with that. That's not too big of a deal, you know. Yeah, Vanessa, you only guessed that it was simple. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not sure that I have any solution to that. I don't think in here there's anything that would help me with that. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's a great question, and I will definitely do them live next week instead of generating them on a computer. So sorry about that. Apologizing. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. We'll go back to this, or here. So this one, let me stop sharing for a second because I want to be able to tell you guys what's included in it, but I don't want to give it away. So you might want to write this down, what I'm about to say. So there are going to be 2 half notes in this and 1 whole note. So that's what my teacher used to do. She used to give us the clues around it and we can figure out where they fit in. And this is 4 measures in 4/4. And this one differs from the last one because it includes 16th notes. So are we ready? Or I'll let you write out your measures if you don't want to. I don't want to rush you. Good? For the people I can see? Good? Cool. Okay. So this is the second one, and you'll hear this 5 times. Make sure that's all the way up. Any instant horror with that one?
Not gonna lie, that was kind of hard.
Yeah. I don't know who let me make these up. Personally, maybe I should have stolen them from somewhere else, but I think once, yeah, sorry, but I really think you can do it. I know, like, you've seen 16ths, Kurt, like, as a musician, so that sounds so crazy when you hear it just with one note being played, but I think you guys can do it. I may only meet with you guys once a week, but I feel like you guys are very into music, so. I remember when I would do it, like I said, with the lines, like it would just be me like rushing to draw all these lines, and it does help. You go a little crazy the first few times, but it does help. So, okay, time number 2. What was that? You remember the little tidbits that I had given you before? Remember that you had to place those in there somewhere. I think you at least know that you have one of the 4 measures done with the whole note. You just have to figure out what measure that is. These are in 68 too, which is slow, but seems fast here. Are we ready? Cool. Kurt's not looking up, but it's okay. I think he's good. Kurt, I just feel like you know it already. I feel like you're doubting yourself. Don't do that. Okay, ready? 3rd time. That's the thing with these. You all like have to go with your gut on them, and most of the time my gut wasn't right. But you have to have a solid rhythm before we even get into melodic dictation, which takes into account listening for what notes are being played. So I'll give you a second there. Okay. That was the 3rd time, right? So 4th time, and if you want, I can always go more with these since it's your guys' first night. I can do more than 5 times if we feel that necessary. Does everyone need more than one more time, or do we think one more listen through you'll have it? If not, one more? Okay. And just like I said, like this obviously just for practice. You guys chose to come here and practice, which is the best part about it also. Nothing too serious if you get it wrong. Okay, last time. Okay. So, now that everyone's finishing everything up, let me share my screen, show you answer. Yes, Sabrina. Love that. This one was hard. The 16ths are hard. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm sure if you sat me down without seeing any of it, I would be thrown in a loop all over again. How does everyone else feel? If just we could do the like this. That's here is good. This is what we're aiming for. I would be concerned if we were down here. Anyone else? So, are we ready for me to stop sharing my screen? Is everyone good? Everyone's seen it? Cool. Okay, next one. We're getting tiny bit trickier. This one is 4 measures in 3/4. So instead of 4 quarter notes or 4 beats in the measure, there are 3 now. And what my teacher would do that would help us is she would tell us how many dotted rhythms there were in the excerpt, whether it be a dotted quarter note, dotted half note. So I will tell you guys that there are 2 dotted notes in this excerpt. Does everyone have their paper set up? Ready to go crazy with your pencil lines? Okay, so 5 listen throughs for this one as well. That last measure kind of goes crazy, but are you guys doing this on like your iPads? That's really cool, and I wish I could do that. So very jealous. Okay. Second listen through, are we ready? Ready or not? Make sure you're always hearing that original tempo that it gives you. That'll tell you where the beats lie and where the dotted notes are. Okay. Third time around. Ready? Also remember we are in 3/4. So instead of a whole note taking up an entire measure, it would be a dotted half note. Just think about that. You guys seem very calm. When we did this in my class, it was just utter panic amongst everyone. So you're already ahead of the game. Okay, fourth time. These are gonna be in my head the rest of the night, so. One last time. Or if you guys need another one after this, we'll assess then. One more time through, or are we ready for the reveal? I think we should do one more time because you guys all look confused, so we'll do one more time. Okay. Okay, time to share my screen. Anyone? Anxiously awaiting for anyone to say something in the chat.
For me, I got 3 measures right, but the one that I missed was the dotted half note. I wrote that as like I put 16th notes in that measure for some reason.
Oh yeah, the 16th notes kind of went crazy right after that, but that's good though that you got three out of the 4 measures, and especially like, okay, cool, 2.5 measures right. That's great. Like you guys are doing really well for your first time, and for me making them harder than they probably should be. But that's great. You might not ever get all measures right, and that's totally fine. Like I said, it's just practice, like you practice an instrument, practicing your training, because your ears never listen for stuff in this kind of way. So are we All set to move on to the last rhythmic dictation. No one's saying anything, so yes. So this one is the hardest that we've seen tonight. It is in 6/8. And it is, let me double check, 4 measures in 6/8. And obviously, because it's in 6/8, there is more of a chance that you will see dotted rhythms, right? Because 6/8 usually is felt in 2. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or people usually do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's felt in 2 instead. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. But for this, I would definitely count it in 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're saying in your head, okay? So this is totally fine. This is kind of just experimental. But I think that since you guys have been doing really well, if you can at least get 1.5 measures of this one right, I think you're looking up. Okay, so let's listen to this one. Okay, first listen around. Do you want me to tell you how many dotted rhythms there are? Okay, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 dotted rhythms. And since we're in 6/8, the only really dotted rhythm you could have is a dotted quarter, right? Because that equals 3 eighth notes. And how many eighth notes are in a measure for this? 6. So dotted quarter note will take up half a measure. There's a big hint. That was bigger than a hint I probably should have given, but it's okay. Your first night. Okay, listen around 2. Sorry if you guys hear any other background noise since I turned on being able to hear it. You'll probably hear everyone else in my dorm. So third, listen through. I personally like the ones in 6/8 because I think you can feel them more, like kind of a moves it right along in my head. But ready for our 4th time. Okay. I see some of you like nodding your head to the beat, and that's perfect. That's what you want to do. You want to be able to feel it. Always got to have that internal metronome. Ready for our last time through? Cool. Are we good? You guys look a little bit more confident with this one. Okay, Sabrina, let's see. Are we ready for it? Ready for the reveal? Wait, I don't want to rush anyone. So wait a second. Okay. Yeah. You got the first two measures right, Vanessa? That's great. That is great. It's hard to hear the dotted rhythms. Yeah. Yeah, and that's common to, that's like the half notes and the rest. It'll be easier to hear when I do it live on a piano. Other than that, is everyone feeling okay? You guys are doing extremely well, and I'm very impressed. So that's all I had for rhythmic dictation. I did make one melodic dictation, just if we wanted to try the challenge. I don't expect you guys to know, have perfect pitch or anything. We talked about this a little bit last week. I don't expect perfect pitch. It amazes me when people do have perfect pitch, but do we want to just listen to this one? And if you don't want to write down the notes, you can always just treat it like another rhythmic dictation and just ignore the fact that they're different notes. Well, let's give this one a try. I only made one. I'm going to stop sharing so I can give you some hints about it. So this one is 5 measures in 4/4. So we're back to just regular 4/4. And I made it go a little bit slower, just a tiny bit slower.
What clef is it in, if you don't mind saying?
Yeah, not at all. It's in treble clef.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no problem. Eventually we'll get to doing ones in, the only other clef we'll do it in is bass clef. That's the only, they'll test you on treble and bass clef.
To practice bass clef, should I just look for a Quizlet? Because I don't know any bass clef like at all.
Yeah, I can provide you with stuff to go over for that. Last week we talked about the clefs a little bit. You can always like stick around at the end and I can go over them a little bit, or if next week you want to do some research first and then next week we can talk about them. I'm literally always on Slack, so never hesitate to reach out to me. Always on Slack. So, and I have notifications on, so I'll see if you guys ask. any questions. But I can also send you like some resources of my own. I think, oh, I shared with them last week a PowerPoint from my old teacher, so I can share that with you as well. Okay. Ready for melodic dictation? It can be a rhythmic dictation if you want. If you guys want to throw in the towel, just let me know, because we can listen to this one 6 times since it's 5 measures. Okay. So since we've done the first listen through, I'll give you the first and the last note of the excerpt. So the first note is a quarter note. These are, yeah, a quarter note, C. And then the last note is a half note, C. And I'm sorry, I didn't even give you the key. So the key is C major, so there's no sharps or flats for this one. Starting out simple. And really, like, don't even worry about this one. Even the fact that you guys are doing melodic dictation and it's not even October yet, or rhythmic dictation, it's not even October yet, is great. So, second listen through, treat it like a rhythmic dictation if you don't hear any difference in the notes. Just yet, okay. Are we feeling overwhelmed? If you are, that's okay. I was gonna say I can give you the first measure, but I don't want to because I think that would give away the fun notes of it all. So it's like a puzzle that you gotta put together. And also, it helps if you can hear the spacing between. So C is the first note. The second note, how far away is that note? You have to think about that in your head. And we haven't learned intervals yet. I don't know if you guys have in your own personal self-studies or school classes. But once we start intervals, this will be a lot easier. But it's just good to expose your ear to stuff like this. So third time through. I like to give you guys a little more time to think in between here. Do either of you guys that weren't here last week, do you like, are you self-proclaimed like perfect pitch? I'm just curious. I asked them last week too. No, that's totally fine. Yeah, Vanessa, yeah, same. On a good day, I can have relative pitch, but okay, 4th time through. After this, we'll have 2 more listens. Vanessa or Alondra, do you guys like play any instruments? Cool.
I play violin.
Oh yes, I play the violin too. Love that.
I play oboe.
Yes. Oh my god, I always wanted to play the oboe. Okay. Every time I went to like the symphonic orchestra, they're kind of cool. Like the oboe solos. Come on, love those.
Alondra's also the drum major in our band.
Yes. Oh my god. Wait, is this your friend that wanted to be added? That's so cool. I love that. I'm jealous. I'm not a band kid, but I wish I could have been. We were rivals in high school, so orchestra versus band. Okay, 5th time. Last year when I did the cram for AP Music Theory, we would write out our melodic dictations and send them in to the teacher through Fiveable. It was like an instant upload, so I am looking into doing that. It would only be seen by me, wouldn't be seen by the entire class, so I could just like give it back to you with feedback or whatever. Maybe eventually we'll get to that. That's great because it allows me to like write on your paper and grade it like as if it were a quiz. Obviously it's not though, but it'll give you more individualized feedback. So I'm looking into doing that for the ear training sessions we have in the future. Okay, last time, and we'll see how we did. I feel like you guys are gonna do good at this. Okay, it's time. Also, it's okay if you like did it in the wrong like octave, if you wrote it an octave higher. How did we do? Good. Did you surprise yourself? Yeah. Sabrina, Vanessa, anything? Any thoughts? It's okay, Sabrina.
It's hard to hear with the flat IO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Okay,
makes
yeah.
it harder a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I will work on that for next week. Yeah. I think you'll definitely be better with a regular piano. I'm working on getting my keyboard in here, so would you guys rather me go sit at a piano and do it live as I'm zooming, or would you rather me just use an actual piano and record it and play it for you guys?
Honestly, I don't mind it like this, but whatever is like easier for you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. With COVID, I just had to see the availability. Yeah, I that's totally fine too, Sabrina. Like, I literally sit here and convince myself that like an A sounds like an E. Like, I will sit here and be like, no, my teacher's name was Miss Paradise. I'll be like, Miss Paradise, I think you have the wrong note, actually. Like, so everyone's ear is different. Everyone hears different things. So that's why it's called ear training, because we're trying to train the ear.
Oh, one thing that when I try to fix my intonation because I don't have a piano either, I use GarageBand to check the notes. So that sounds a little better than flat IO.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I will look into that. You guys are so much more tech savvy than I am, and I'm only a freshman in college, so we're doing well. Okay, so that's all I have for any kind of dictation. It's 7:30. I just had a quick, if this thing could get out of my way. Okay, so I had this meme of this like guy on the like bus, and he is literally just reading music for fun. I'm like, that's my goal in life. This guy is thriving. He's his happiest. So yeah, I have a whole folder of AP Music Theory memes that go with a bunch of topics, so be prepared for those. Okay, this is what I want to talk about. This is so important. So let me get rid of these. So obviously flat IO I use, but musictheory.net is just a great like resource just to have. It has everything from explanations on different topics. It has different tools you can use, all these different like chord calculators. So this will help you throughout the year. Look at how many lessons there are. If you're self-studying, this is a website for you. Also, YouTube helps so much. So then I have Tone Savvy. Tone Savvy is the best website I think I've ever used in my entire life. Ear training. So we just did melodic dictation for our last one. Someone just screamed in my door. That's concerning. So you can go in and you can select you can make it as hard or as simple as you guys want, as many questions as you want, and it'll play it for you. You can listen to it over and over again. Helps so much, and especially when we get in intervals, this is all I used to practice. There's also, I think I showed you guys last week, the perfect pitch thing. It's just to help you recognize notes, which can be great when thinking of melodic dictation. And they just have other exercises that will just help you. This is like one of my best study tips I can give you guys. And then this website I just found last week, as I was putting this together. They have even better, where did it go? Rhythmic Dictation. So on here, it's like a choose your own destiny kind of thing again. Make it as hard or as simple as you want. I would start over on this end, where it's all green, and you can make it slow or as fast. You can time yourself. It's totally, and also what's nice with this is you can choose whether you want to hear the metronome the entire time, which I know I didn't play the metronome throughout the entire thing, but it will help you. You can choose if you want syncopation, triplets, make it as hard or easy as you want. Like I said, this is a great resource. I almost used this for like the actual lesson tonight, but it would have just been too hard for me to facilitate through Zoom. But this is a great resource, and they have so many other things. Music theory tutorials. You guys have probably already found these websites if you're self-studying. Yeah, I have those. And then the last slide was just any questions that you guys had. Keep blocking myself out of my laptop. That's good. Yeah. Anyone has any kind of question, don't hesitate to ask. I'll stop sharing because I don't really need to anymore. I'm just curious, is it like if you guys think that this helped at all, or was a good introduction? Because I can make, like, I go week by week. I make up what I want to put in these office hours week by week, depending on what you guys give me for feedback. So I can do next Monday at 6:30 is usually going to be our time. But we can do more rhythmic dictation and maybe start with more than one melodic dictation. Change it up a little bit, or if you guys want me to cover topics and not focus on your training, just let me know. You can always message me privately too on Slack if you have any specific things. Any questions, comments, concerns? Now's the time.
Is there something that we should be like practicing every day, like something specific?
So what I practiced every day was melodic dictation and just ear training in general. For me, that was always the scariest part, thinking about the AP test, is the recordings, because you'll be given these recordings to listen to and then write down. I would practice this and sight singing. We haven't gotten to sight singing yet. That's a whole other can of worms. But this is a great thing to at least practice 3 days a week. Just if you go on one of those websites, and just sit down for like 20 minutes and just do a few, it really does help. Or if you have a piano and you just want to sit down and you're like, okay, I'm going to play a few random notes, write down the rhythm that you're making up. Just make up crazy rhythms. Like, if your brain gets more used to seeing all these rhythms and hearing them aloud, that's what'll help you guys. And other than that, like music theory stuff like circle of fifths, you know, I love talking about the circle of fifths. Memorize that for Vanessa and Alondra. We talked about this a lot last week. Circle of fifths is like the most important thing in music theory, and it'll definitely help you down the road to know it. Yeah, I would definitely, that's just something. And I was telling them last week, just literally draw yourself a circle and see how much you know of the circle of fifths, how much you memorize. So yeah, and I think I told you guys last week too, just like play around with your pitch. And you can use those websites too to just like hit a note on the piano and be like, okay, I know this is F. And I know that this is A, and F and A sound this far from each other. Because I think probably if you want to do one more office hours of rhythmic dictation, we can do that. But our next step would be like starting intervals, which we can do either in a week or 2 weeks, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. And you don't even have to get back to me right now, sometime in the next week, so I can start planning. Yeah. Anything anyone wants to get off their chest before we end this? No?
Sabrina said
This
something.
oh, cool. Yeah. Like if I see, like if I'm looking at a piece of music, Sabrina, and I'm like, it says like 5 sharps, or it like has them written out. Yeah, so I don't know it like that, but if I think about it and I visualize the circle of fifths in my head, I do know it. But like that just comes with time too. It's easier to think about. I always know that F major is 1 flat. I know that, and I know that G major is 1 sharp. So just start with maybe those 2 and work your way around the circle of fifths. I told them last week, but I'm looking at my wall right now because I literally have a circle of fifths taped to my wall, because I use it. I am a music education major, for those who don't know. So I have my own music theory classes that I'm doing. So yeah, just writing those out, color coding, big advocate for color coding your circle of fifths. I think that'll help you, like literally. Hold on, I have my old music theory notebook from my senior year. I brought it here because I took great notes in it. But you'll see in the beginning of it, let me find it. We did our circle, you literally can't see this. We did our circle of fifths, and I would just, it's ridiculous how much I would write them out. Just like going over and over again for my own. We had a quiz on it. I would write it during math class. I would like take out a piece of paper and don't even start with like the minors if you don't want. Memorize the outside first, all the majors, and then bring in the minors. So yeah, last week they're just scribbled everywhere in here. I compared it to, it's like the music equivalent to the unit circle in your math class. So yeah, it definitely helps me anyway. But everyone learns music differently. So okay, bye Sabrina. Sorry, I'm really just talking so much. That's per usual. But if no one else has anything that they want to ask or talk about, I think we're all good. You guys are free to go if you want. If anyone wants to stick around, yeah, bye. Thank you guys for coming so much. It was nice having more than 2 people. Bye. I think you're still muted.
Sorry, I had a question because you're the only I'm the only like violinist in my school, so I don't know anybody else who plays violin. Well, except you know. So I was just wondering, like I've been playing violin since like December of last year. So and I'm doing these. Are these on progress or no? Oops, it's upside down. This?
Yeah.
And these?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you were like, if anything, you've only been playing it for less than a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trust me, it's so, I'm in a string methods class here. So I'm music education, so I have to learn how to teach strings. And I'm the only string player in the class. So there's band kids in there. And we just started a few weeks ago and they like don't even know bow hold or anything. So the fact that you've been playing for less than a year and already have those books or even know what those books are is great. So I think you're way past even. Are you like, do you have a teacher?
I'm taking lessons.
Yeah. So I'm sure if they see something in you and they're like, oh, you can do this, like, and also don't hesitate to like look around for new violin music
Mm-hmm.
or even like popular music. Popular music is so easy to play on the violin.
Mm-hmm.
It's really like not hard at all. It's the classical music that's harder. So just like there are so many free downloads online of different
Mhm.
violin music that you can make so much progress even from that, and just make sure you
Mhm.
practice a lot. Practicing is key. It took me a while to realize that. So.
Because it's like super painful to like, it's like people ask me, what are you learning? Like, play something for me. It's like, all I have for you is scales that are either
Yeah.
really fast or really, really, really slow.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, I don't even like when people say that. They're like, play something for me. My teacher never made us memorize anything, so
Mhm.
totally get where you're coming from there. Scales impress people, so never hesitate to play a scale because they do impress people.
Because,
Can you play 3 octaves?
no, the highest note I learned is C6.
Okay.
Which is like,
Yeah.
and only in first position, so like really like stretching the fourth
Yeah,
finger.
to stretch. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, once you get down to the positions, it opens up a whole new world. But I think you're doing great for not even playing for a year. So.
Because I want to try to get in college playing an ensemble.
Yeah,
Okay.
ensembles are so fun. And do you play with like a full orchestra now? Like, or
No.
have you?
I go to a private school. We don't have
Oh.
music at a private school.
Yeah, I would definitely say like it's hard with COVID, but there are a lot of like community orchestras that are usually up and running, and they accept everyone from all levels. So I would definitely like maybe try and get in those, because I think having the experience of being in a full orchestra too is something really valuable, as well as an ensemble. And ensembles are even harder because it's less people, and so you're heard more and you're relied on more. But they're all just different learning experiences. And I used to be so tough on myself with like, oh, I feel bad because I didn't practice today, or like these people are better than me. But like you can't do that. You're on your own path, and you have to look out for yourself. And if you don't feel like practicing one day, don't practice. It's not going to be fun if it's miserable. But then the next day say, okay, I didn't practice yesterday, so I should definitely practice today. I'm in a better mood, stuff like that. It's consistency. That's the key.
Okay.
Yeah. But literally, I have my notifications on for Slack. It's literally like texting me. So if you ever need anything, let me know.
Okay.
And we can always, like, if you want, I can always stick around later on future office hours to answer any other violin related questions. So yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.